You know, I know that's our intro, but I really like it. Every time I play it, it feels like an honor. I get hyped up. You can't
Get
help
excited.
it.
I literally, right before you unmuted, I just said that's a good hype intro.
Yeah, I know. It's true. I think about it every time. It's Silent Art of Fall. Liquid are doing it. LGD versus
I'd prefer
IG.
if you never did that again.
All right, you got it, pal. We've got game 2 of this best of 2 series coming up. LGD looking fierce in game number 1. Honestly, to me, that game looked more like IG not playing up to snuff more so than LGD really stepping it up. LGD played solid, don't get me wrong, but IG just seemed to be kind of in disarray. Their draft was a little bit shaky. Their execution was very shaky, and it was a long game, but IG really never had control of it.
Yeah, I would start it honestly at the draft. I think that was a really bad draft for like comparatively for what they were matching up against. They picked a mid-game team fight lineup that needed BKBs to function, and the other team had a mid-game team fight lineup that did not need BKBs to function. So basically, they just lost every fight until they had BKBs, but they were so far behind at that point that they couldn't really, like, at that point they were, right when they got the BKB, those fights were pretty much like parity. Like, they were kind of trading back and forth, but then those BKBs ticked down and they just get owned.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, let's hop into our stream here, see what's going on, and take a look at some of these picks. Initial bans coming out. IG, well, they don't want to deal with that Treant Protector. They'll take him right out of the pool. They'll also ban out the Ancient Apparition. LGD, they'll take off a few offlaners here. Bat Rider as well as Darkseer, 2 heroes we didn't get to see in the last game. So, still a lot of scary heroes making it through the pool. The first one to come to mind is Invoker, but IG, they'll pick up the Lycan. Now, what's scary about this for me here is, well, Lycan is on the Radiant, and since 6.81 hit, honestly, I think every Lycan on Radiant I've seen has been a complete disaster.
You know, I was just thinking that. I was like, I don't think I've seen very many games where it's gone well. Can you actually check to see if it's Radiant or not? Damn you, Dota. Lycan in general only has a 51% win rate right now.
So that's okay. That's at least
It's not great.
Not great. Not good. Not great. I think there are ways, but I don't know. I don't know the ways. You'd have to get trained in the arts of the stats, man.
Well,
so
that's unfortunate. I'd like to know. I'd be very curious to see how they actually do on Radiant versus Dire at this point.
Well, it's definitely a lot worse. I think I
mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely does. I would suspect that it's lower. I don't know the specific numbers. I should call up Brian. I don't even have my cell phone on me. Or I give Brian a jingle. But I don't know. We'll see. Lycan, he just seems like a shadow of his former self. I'm actually not on the Lycan hype train right now. And if I were LGD, I'd be feeling at least okay. Part of the power of Lycan is his ability to control Roche, get yourself sort of like Ursa. It's not that he's a harder carry as much as he has easy access to that Roshan, so he can get an Aegis and he can get that extra bit of golden experience and kind of run amok. If you take that element away, he's a lot less scary.
Great. Yeah, I think for me, it's not really like Lycan's not really like a hard carry. I mean, he is, but really what he excels at is killing buildings. So if you take away the Aegis, it's a lot higher risk to try to kill those buildings. So I think at this point, just looking at the initial draft, they have the Dazzle, they have the Axe. Both of those are pretty good at controlling Lycan. If they were able to keep him in check, I think they'll have a decent time in this game. You always are at risk, though, when you play against Lycan, right? I mean, if you mess up, he kills all of your buildings pretty much instantly. It's just, if you screw up one team fight and Lycan is live at the end and he has a Necro Book and Wolves, you can say goodbye to 1 to 2 towers. That's just how it happens.
Yep, that's definitely some of his prowess on the battlefield is punishing those lost team fights even heavier. But LGD, they grabbed Dazzle and Axe, 2 heroes very well suited to deal with the Lycanthrope. We saw Dazzle had a big impact in the last game. IG picked him up very early on in their draft, and that weave made the pushing efforts of LGD a lot more difficult, both when used defensively and offensively. Axe, a hero that just works so well for Lycan. Lycan's a hero that usually likes to get BKB. Axe can dunk him through it, and Berserker's Call, an absolutely fabulous ability to lock Lycan in place. Even if he goes into shapeshift form, he'll be standing there trying to give you rabies rather than running away at that max movement speed. So, wow, good stuff. I like the Axe pick here from LGD. Mirana will be the second choice for Invictus Gaming. No big surprise there. Another one of those just great flex picks. We talked about it in the last game. Support, carry, semi-carry, whatever you want to do with her. She fits the bill. But now we see these interesting picks coming through. Third and fourth bands looking fairly straightforward. I want to talk about this third pick for LGD. Look at it go.
Yeah, and I think, right before we start, I was just glancing through Dota stats, trying to see if there was anything weird, and I think Witch Doctor did show up here. Yeah, LGD have picked it a couple times before. They won one, lost one, but this hero's gotten really popular, and I'm interested to see what build we get out of LGD. There's been a build that's been pretty popular on a lot of the Western teams. eHug did it a bunch. A couple of the games that they won was with this build, and you max Maledict. And then you also put a bunch of levels in Cask, and you just walk around and solo kill people.
Yep, it's pretty scary. Now, it's interesting to see the different Witch Doctor builds, because we've seen some other teams in the West, the more like the kind of EG style, the way Zai plays him is no points in Maledict, and he goes through those early points in the Voodoo Restoration, and just uses that sustainability, and it can be pretty good in those mid-game death balls as well when you're trying to group up. I think either build is good. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other.
Yeah, it's situational.
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
It's Dota, man. Everything's situational.
Yeah. Well, some things are less situational than others.
Not everything is situational.
Yeah, this hero much more situational than others, where some heroes there is just one true build. I think maxing Leap on Mirana is not particularly situational. It's just bad. But wow, Invoker making it all the way to the fourth pick here for LGD. So their roster's starting to shape up. Now, Invictus Gaming, they will third pick a Pugna, and then fourth pick the Earth Shaker. So they'll do a little bit of that similar flavor from the last game, the Mirana Earth Spirit, and try and give LGD a taste of their own medicine. But they will also have Pugna Lycan, some pretty scary pushing heroes. Actually, no, they had the Mirana Earth Shaker last game. Pardon me. They're going to keep up and give them the same medicine again.
Yeah, Pugna is a hero that I think has been underutilized in the meta right now. The ward is very good against a lot of heroes. Invoker specifically. I think this is going to be a pretty nasty aggro try from LGD. Looks like the observer, the chart builder, I don't know what to call this person. It looks like they agree. But Axe and aggro try is my preferred method of utilization. I think it's really powerful in the early game. You can do a lot of crazy stuff. If you get two heroes in call, cask them, that's a lot of damage. So.
Yeah. I'm surprised to see them pick the Earthshaker into an Axe, because if they try lane around this Lycan, they may just end up putting him mid. Maybe it'll be a Pugna try lane. I guess that makes a little bit more sense.
I don't know if...
I don't know. This is...
I'm not 100% sold on the laning so far. Pugna, I think, is okay as a support. He just needs a lot of levels.
Yeah, I don't think he's that great as a support. I think he really needs farm priority. We'll see. I'm not sure exactly how IG will choose to lane this. LGD will opt for Doom with their last pick, so they've got a pretty well-rounded team here. Not a lot of pushing power. It depends how this Invoker builds. I think he'll probably go the Exort route here, but we'll see. They have a decent amount of setup, Force Sunstrikes, and I think they'll want those Forge Spirits for a little bit of pushing power if they opt to Deathball, but a lot of carry power. They've got some lockdown with the Doom. The Witch Doctor can put out a lot of damage as well. Some sustainability from the Dazzle. I like this from LGD. I could see a pretty scary death ball around that mid-game start to brew.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. As far as the Invoker, Exort, I think, is very tempting in this game because of the setup that you already mentioned. We might see Wex, though, just because of the Pugna, because of the Earthshaker, and decent against Mirana, but mostly Pugna and Earthshaker. If you take away their mana, those heroes don't do anything. So it could be okay.
That's true. And whoa, daddy. Invictus Gaming. They'll have an interesting fifth pick.
I love this hero. Dude, Paging Cinderin. This has all Cinderen's favorite heroes.
Paging Cinderin. Is he a Leshrac fan?
Dude, he loves Lesh he likes Lesh as a core. He loves Lesh, he loves Pugna.
Okay.
So.
I know he likes Pugna. He was talking the other day just like, Pugna, perfect pick here. Come on, Pugna. You can do this.
Yeah, I really like Lesh as a hero. He's gotten the nerf bat pretty repeatedly. However, I don't know. I think he's still really good. The cast animation for Edict is really annoying. Still very good as a pushing tool, not as good as sort of the ganking tool or like the solo mid that we used to see where like, oh, there's a person in the river. I'm going to hit my W and kill them.
Yeah, that cast point they added to Edict really slapped Lesh back down. But to be fair, he was broken for a pretty long time, I think, suffice it to say. So, yeah, it's one of those. You can't lose too much sleep over it. Can't feel too bad for old Leshy, because he was quite good for quite a long time here. And whoa, look at this axe, man. This thing is,
holy crap.
I don't think I've ever seen the red guard. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But
these, I have to say, a lot of these Southeast Asian and China players are up on the hats, man. They've got the best looking hats. This
yeah,
one
dude.
is
Look at his pauldrons, cheese and crackers. Heroic Berserkers pauldrons. Oh, I love me a good axe set.
I don't know what a pauldron is. What's a pauldron?
Shoulders, shoulder pads, shoulder plates, pauldrons.
Oh, that's a tournament one too. Damn.
Yeah, damn. He's tricked out.
They're hatted up.
IG 5-man rotation through the Radiant Jungle. We could see a level 1 engagement break out. Luo, he's scouting out the Roche Pit. LGD, do they have vision of it? No.
They have a ward.
Oh, yes, they do. They have a ward up. Okay, so they know what's going on, but nope, they won't try to find any initiation. Okay.
Yeah, they were just hoping someone walked up the hill.
Yeah.
It'd be, I mean, that would be pretty dumb if someone did walk up the hill, but it's definitely worth the try because that's a free kill if they do.
Yeah.
He's actually gone for Helix level 1. Wonder if they're going to cut creeps here.
I don't know.
I don't know if you
about
can
the
against this
creep
Triline.
cutting.
It seems pretty awful.
I don't think
Eating
so.
a Fisher and then a Split Earth is a good way to die.
It's difficult. I mean, Dazzle makes it a lot easier, and so does the Witch Doctor once he gets that Voodoo Restoration, but it's not easy. This Haste Rune at level 1, though, uh-oh, maybe Axe can do something. Let's introduce these lanes. So on the Radiant side, we do have Invictus Gaming. They're down 0-1 in this best-of-2 series, and of course, they are the favorites to win. It will be Faith playing on the Leshrac, Chuan on the Earthshaker. We'll have to hold the introductions as Rabbit grabs the Haste Rune, moving around. Won't find anyone quite yet. It will be Luo playing on the Murano once again. We saw him last game. The Treant Protector was the bane to his existence. So we'll see how he fares in this game coming up. Axe. Nope, he'll just go smacking creeps. He won't even go in for any kills here. So keeping it pretty straightforward. Ferrari 430 will be on the Lycan here in the mid lane. That first point in Hal, and YYF will be playing an off-lane Pugna here on the Radiant side.
This is pretty neat. On the other side of things, we've got Lin. He's going to be on the Doom in the top lane. Mid lane, Yao going to be on the Invoker. And down bottom, we've got the Tri-lane, DD on the Witch Doctor, DDC on the Dazzle, and last but not least, it's going to be Rabbit. He's going to be hanging out with the Axe. And
DDC rocking some old school cosmetics on the Bedazzler here. The Ancestral, or no, the Ancient, Ancestral Cloak. I like it.
Deathloop got some good cosmetics.
Yeah, the classic Mohawk that used to be a standard,
set,
then they changed it. Yeah,
damn.
I just bought a Dazzlator, dude.
One,
I paid this. I paid $750 for it. Racking up those gems. It's gonna be awesome. Just you wait. It looks cool though. It really does.
It's a great set.
If you're not using the Dazzlator, you're not doing it right. I'm happy with my purchase. I'm gonna hype it up just to make myself feel better about buying pixels. I don't know.
Well, interesting to note here, YYF has seemingly been the solo laner, but IG definitely don't seem to be doing the conventional thing. They've been having some issues with their rosters. They've been swapping roles a little bit. Chuan played core for a while. It looks like he's back on support, but Luau, let's see if he can bring some stuff in for game number 2.
Yeah, Luau was looking
having some issues.
Little lackluster last
I think
game.
He maybe is a little bit of a scapegoat, but he's been getting a lot of hate recently.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've seen Twitch chat going hard on him, but I don't know. Twitch chat goes hard on everybody.
Yeah, mid lane Ferrari on this Lycan versus the Invoker. This is a pretty annoying matchup for Ferrari. He's going to do pretty poorly, I think. Like, look how much damage he's taking just from Exort right-click. There's only one level on Exort. There is a Null here, so that's a pretty good amount of damage, and I think he's just going to... This is a bottle, right?
Oh, down bottom. Initiation as the cask flies through. Bounces across the 3 heroes. Rabbit does have a point in Berserker's Call. Doesn't use it out. Now they'll turn it around on a DDC. They connect with the stuns. There's your first blood coming out, and Faith will secure the kill on the Leshrac. Nicely done by LGD. Sunstrike flies through. Off the money, as Luo does heal up with that salve. So a noble effort, but Chuan was right there with the setup for the fissure to make it all possible. The arrow straight into the Split Earth, and more than enough damage to secure the kill. Interesting build from Lesh as well. Level 3, 2 points in Split Earth, and 1 point in the Lightning Storm, opting not to level the Diabolic Edict.
Yeah, this is the normal Tri-lane build, I think. Most of the time, I think Lightning Storm is actually okay in a Tri-lane like this when you're trying to just nuke down a hero. They are going to have to deal with Shallow Grave fairly soon, but Rabbit moving forward here. Chuan drops the Fissure. Rabbit taking a lot of damage. Oh, no! Too late for the Grave! Down goes Rabbit, and now DDC. He's on the run as well. Chuan does not have another Fissure yet, but Man, LGD just not executing properly in this tri lane.
Yeah.
Losing 2 heroes already. This lane is basically already lost.
Absolutely. I don't know why Rabbit decided to go so aggressive there. Just absolutely no need to position yourself that way. Dazzle got stuck between a rock and a hard place. He was caught in the trees here. Not enough range to grave over the tree, so he had to walk all the way around and, well, just couldn't get in range. That's that level 1 grave for you. Only 550. And it just didn't happen for the poor Dazzle. So with that, they will just abandon. Rabbit moves straight into the jungle, finds himself some mud golems, which he'll chip away at. They will just leave DD down here, but...
They won the lane, I think, and now they're just going to try to get some levels up on this Witch Doctor. Looks like he's not going to be touching Maledict yet, so we'll see if he continues to do that. Ferrari in the mid lane has his bottle now. He's going to have to actively bottle Crow, but, oh, this is an invisible invoker. This could very well be a kill here.
Yeah, DDC.
They're lining up for it. Their support's rotating over. This could be bad. Very bad for Ferrari.
Could also be bad for Yao, though. Support coming in from IG. They will start things off with a Sunstrike. It will actually connect, but now Yao taking a lot of damage. Will get shallow graved. Rabbit coming in the front lines, trying to help his friend out. Throws out the Berserker's Call. It won't be enough to keep his buddy alive. Lesh slaps him down with the Lightning Storm, and they make it a 1-0 going the other way. IG with some early momentum here. Mr. What is Hip, 3-0 as we pass that 5-minute mark.
This looks like a completely different IG, and you know, I was talking to Molly on Twitter, and he said it looked like a completely different LGD last game. So looks like we've had some swapping and mojo here.
Yeah,
IG is executing very well. That was a really great set of rotations there by IG. It would have been very easy for Ferrari to just die there, but perfect rotations. And well, unfortunate that they do lose one on the way out. The Grave just not quite enough with that Lesh throwing out the Lightning Storm, but just good execution so far from IG. They seem to have everything back under control. They're a little bit more comfortable, it looks like, with this lineup. It's a very, very easy tri lane to execute, to be honest. I mean, you've got 3 really great stuns and a good setup for them, but they're on their way to a nice game here, and I wonder if this is going to be a Midas game. Looks like it's going to be Aquila for Luau, and he's already picked up Treads. Treads are a little bit unusual on Mirana, but we've seen it a little bit.
Yeah,
you get much more efficient mana usage.
Yeah, exactly. Some players do favor it a little bit more, but phase boots have been all the rage these days, as it were, just having that little bit of extra movement speed and overall just being easier to execute. So some players, if they have a skill shot hero like Mirana, they like to focus their mental power on something else. Also, just get that little bit of extra right-click damage, helps you snowball in the lane and dominate whoever you're up against in the solo role. Pugna has had one hell of a time in the offlane, though. YYF has been the last hit leader pretty much this entire game, did great against the Doom up top, has now started moving around, has hit level 6 as well, has that life drain online, and they will rotate down towards the bottom lane. So it looks like they want to pressure this off-lane tower for LGD since the lane's already been sacrificed anyhow, recognizing Witch Doctor is kind of the weak link, won't be able to put up too much of a defense. They will start abusing that Nether Blast here as they press into the bottom tier 1 tower.
Yeah, and that lane top is a pretty crucial component to IG's lineup. I mean, at this point, they've won every single lane. They crushed bottom, middle, just with Ferrari not dying there, getting decent CS. He's doing just fine. He's a couple below the Invoker, but not really anything too noticeable. And top lane, YYF just crushed the Doom a little bit unsurprisingly, but great execution. Bottom lane,
down bottom. Yeah, they set it up. The Grave comes out. Now they'll try to turn around onto Luo. He will get turned into Ether form. Sunstrike will fly through.
Oh, he's not 6. No dunk.
Barely alive. Oh, no. The Poison Touch doesn't exist. Can they bring him down? Fissure buys him some time. YYF gets doomed. They're on the run. Rabbit, he's just too slow. Oh, no. Luo uses a healing salve, and they'll be forced back. It's a disaster for LGD.
Oh, arrow. No. Close, though.
Oh, boy.
And they just can't catch a break here. And now it's going to heal up, Arcane Boots up, and just start throwing down those Nether Blasts. Pops the stick. And, well, IG looked okay here for a defense. Not a lot of mana for Luo at the moment, but enough for an arrow, and those Arcane's going to pump him right there.
Yep, exactly right. YYF putting that early farm to good use. Now hits level 7, so gets that next point. And Nether Blast, he'll steal some health from a creep here, and they'll be all set to try and reboot this push in the bottom lane. Dazzle only level 3 right now, and these dire supports, well, they're doing okay. Dazzle was the lowest level in the game, but Witch Doctor has found a good bit of solo XP, and he has now hit level 6. So, of course, that means Death Ward is among us, and watch out for those physical deeps.
Yeah, Ferrari in the mid lane has recovered really well. Between bottle crowing and using his wolves to harass the Invoker, he's been able to take the pressure off himself.
Rabbit in the bottom lane gets initiated upon, but again, a well-placed shallow grave, and you're right, he will be just
really,
fine.
This is, since that first little misstep, much better Dazzle play. He's been doing a nice job with those graves. The mid lane kill was not really, kind of out of his control, to be honest, so.
Yeah.
Nice play from the Dazzle so far, but aggressive initiation here from IG. They're going to Moonlight Shadow. I really like this quite a bit. They're going to be charging forward, and
my poor Dazzle.
I know you like him, man, but he is so dead.
He's toast. Zip him up, Dazzle. You're going to bed early tonight, buddy. That'll be 4-0 here in hero kills. IG have already taken out one tower, and, well, they may settle for two here. Bottom tier 2 tower, taking some chip damage, fresh creep wave. YYF is rather low on mana, doesn't have enough for another Nether Blast, and Arcane Boots will be on cooldown here. Rabbit as well as DD joining the party. There will be a TP in, and they'll back out. So even getting some more value out of this push as they force another TP and a little bit of wasted gold. And look at this, IG unrelenting in their pressure. They will smoke. They've set the trap. It's a fake back here, Gregor. But can they capitalize?
This is my favorite play in Dota, and looks like Rabbit is going to fall forward. Arrow sailing through. That's going to nail him. The Fissure is just a perfect setup. The Starstorm. And Twan punches him down. And I think a lot of this comes down to the draft once again. But unfortunately for LGD, it didn't work out quite as well for them. They picked their tri-lane a little bit too early. It was a pretty predictable set of heroes. And IG did a really nice job picking heroes to directly counter it. I mean, when you pick that axe that early, you pretty much know what's going to happen. Mid lane, though, Invoker taking a lot of damage. Life Drain. Oh, man.
Wow. Yeah, he just takes a crit. Oh, man. 6-0 at the 10-minute mark. IG just starting to run away with things. Top tier 1 tower getting chipped away at by the Doom. He does have Arcane Boots working on the mech with that headdress already in tow, but so far Lin's been pretty low impact this game. We've seen him ult once, was down bottom, and didn't find too much out of it. While I'm talking about that in the mid, we missed a kill on Axe, and I do apologize there. He did get dunked by Chuan, and they had more than enough to bring him down. Now, like you mentioned, you'd concede an unfortunate death, and Lycan will punish by taking your towers, and that'll be the end of the tier 1 in the mid. Makes it 2-0 in total tower count.
Yeah, and Ferrari has the Vlads now, so at some point in the near future, he'll probably investigate that Roshan pit, kill that, take the Aegis. And he is doing a great job in this game. And what was a pretty hard lane, I didn't pay too much attention to it, but the Wolves are really good because you can just harass the Invoker a lot. And, oh, man, those Wolves are the worst.
Lin up top. Fissure to start things off. In comes the Lesh, using that lightning. Life drain from the Pugna, but
I think they missed the splitter.
Yeah, I think so too. Doom just a little too tanky. Has himself the buckler, but he just walks away.
Very casually, and what can LGD do? Oh, they're gonna lose the Dazzle in the bottom lane.
Yeah, they sure will. Look at it go. Oh, maybe not. Dazzle alive for now. Luo, can he turn this around? Death Ward comes out as well. Poison on. There's your Moonlight Shadow. Dire Sentry, but the Sunstrike, that's on the money.
Oh, that's one kill for LGD, and again, a good set of rotations to help save him, but it might be a little bit too late. Top lane. Oh, what a Fissure on 2 heroes. D-Crab, Split Earth, Lightning Storm, and the Life Drain.
Oh, Doom with 20 hit points. He's still alive, and Axe, he TP's out. It's kind of a disaster for IG. They still get the tower, but they miss a big opportunity there to grab a few kills. LGD walk away by the skin of their teeth on that one.
Yeah, that looks really good, but just missed it by a little bit. Not quite enough damage.
20 hit points on that Doom, but that's okay. They create some space for Ferrari. He's pressuring the Dire Ancients. It was a double stack, so he'll get a little gold boost there. It is now 4-0 in total tower count, and of course that means about a 7,000 gold lead for IG, somewhere about 2,000 experience. So they've spent a lot of time grouped up, but still maintaining an experience edge. Lycan pretty close to his first Necro book. Well, actually not really that close, but halfway there if that's what he wants to go for. And of course, Roche a possibility. But IG, they're going to continue on. They're grouping up in the mid lane, and they will start chipping away at this tier 2.
Yeah, and they haven't gone for Roche yet because they haven't really had to, if that makes sense. I mean, yeah, they're just destroying these team fights. Why waste time? I mean, if you Roche when you can just kill all the heroes.
Yeah,
another Fissure initiation, and the Wolves just bring it down. Twan is on his game here. He's had some real nice initiations.
Yeah.
Interesting to say he has not put a point in Enchant Totem yet, but
that is rather interesting.
usually you see a value point in there for the Aftershock.
Yep, absolutely.
He's doing just fine. His initiations have been superb.
3, 0, and 5. And I did misspeak. It is now 4-0 in total tower count. It was 3 before that one went down. For some reason, I thought this tier 2 in the bottom lane had already fallen. But here she is with plenty of hit points to spare. LGD are just not in a position to defend anything. And Axe is a hero that really doesn't play well from behind. If he gets some momentum, gets a decently timed blink, he can dunk people. But 0, 3, and 0 at the 13-minute mark, that is rough stuff for Axe. He really needs those early kills to grab that momentum and have a presence in the mid game. And right now, he's just kind of a joke. Even if he walked into the fight and gets off a Berserker's Call, he's so weak that they can just take him down.
Yeah, I mean, it's 13 minutes, almost 14 minutes, and this is the time when you want that Blink Dagger on. Like, he should have had that a while ago. Chuan has his Blink Dagger before the Axe, and that aggro tri-lane just got absolutely manhandled.
You know that's scary when your position 5 Earthshaker has a blink before your position 1 Axe. That is just... Oh boy, that's scary. Moonlight Shadow gets deployed. Luo coming down. Roshan does fall, but there's a sentry down. Luo gets initiated upon. Chuan comes in with a dunk. Connects on 3. Sets up some easy kills. Rabbit, the only one left alive, but he will go down shortly after. Crisp execution from IG and ends up being great bait on that Mirana.
Yeah, and this is just this game's just going to snowball out of control at this point. It might be a Radiant Lycan, but when you're winning this hard, you might as well be on Dire because the map control at this point is just like, you have to stay in this area. If you walk out of here, there's really aggressive wards from the Radiant. They've got one here. They've got one here. They know exactly where you're going. If you leave, Chuan is going to set up an initiation on you.
There's no glyph. Just look at this. The barracks melting at the 15-minute mark.
Oh, God. DD.
Look at it go. He goes right back to the grave with that one. Rax will fall, and looks like IG may take a quick win in game number 2. You know, I tweeted after game 1 that, it's an upset. LGD take out IG, and someone tweeted back, that's not an upset. They're both top tier 1 teams. No, this is closer to what this series should have looked like. Maybe a little more one-sided, but IG were the heavy favorites coming in here, and now they're finally coming together. Game 1, it was really like watching a different team.
Yeah, both teams are playing completely different Dota. The draft for LGD this time around, just a bit too predictable. I really liked the strategy they were going for. I did not like how early they picked it. And, I mean, at this point, the gold graphs are starting to look ugly. It's over 10K. It's at 15 minutes. And IG are approaching the point where they're almost doubled up on the farm.
Yeah. Double damage on Luo. Already has the Maelstrom up. That's even an Ag Scepter up on Pugna right after the mech. Wow, that is one rich
Pugna. They want to kill on Rabbit here.
Yeah, they certainly do. Dazzle comes forward. Throws out the Weave. Does a fair bit of damage. Now the life drain out onto Rabbit. Split Earth won't be on the money, so he will survive for now. Walks back to safety. He'll be A-okay. And Invictus Gaming will retreat. Again, they smoke as they walk back. And maybe looking for a wraparound.
Yeah, I think they want to just create a little bit more space and maybe try to take the top tier 2. They would love to be able to push another set of Raxes here because, I mean, at 15 minutes, 1 set of Rax is crushing, but 2 sets of Rax, it's game over.
That's a level 2 Necro Book up on Lycan as well, and he hasn't even used it yet. DDC in the mid, long-range Fissure, Arrow, Split Earth, everything else under the sun, and this wombo combo of heroes just unrelenting in their pressure.
What a gross tri-lane, man. I'm going to draft this in pubs and crush people.
Yeah, yep, and Moonlight Shadow, Yao, he's in big trouble. Fissure to start things off once again. There's your Split Earth, your Shapeshift, Howl, and that's a dead Invoker. Sorry, Kael'thas, but not going to survive that one.
14-1 at this point. LGD are just holding on for dear life, but the supports are so farmed. The initiations from Chuan have been pretty much perfect every single time. The Split Earth, he's only missed, I think, like 1 the whole game, and that's recipe for a really great defensive tri-lane, especially when they're aggroing against you. A lot of kills in that lane have really put them in a good position in the mid game, and with the Lycan, they're just tanking people down.
Yeah, Arrow actually will be off the mark there. He gets mech'd up. He'll be okay. Rabbit coming in. There is a Death Ward from the high ground. That'll proc the Aegis. Luo taking a lot of damage. Great setup from LGD with DD on the high ground, but it just isn't enough. It burns the Aegis. That's something. But now their tier 3 will be under pressure.
Absolutely, and they've got the Pugna, they have the Lycan, they have so much pushing power. This is an attempt for LGD. Rabbit moves for it, calls, not even close to enough follow-up damage, and now YYF life draining down the Witch Doctor, who's really one of the only chances they have in these fights with paralyzing cast.
What was that dunk from Chuan? I don't think it hit anything.
Well,
he was standing up. He was like right here.
I think that was a good example of echo before blink.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Classic come with me play.
Yeah, maybe he didn't see his blink dagger get broken, but that was that was a rough one. It doesn't matter. IG just so far ahead. LGD will tap out here as they just get run over. DDC, he graves, he TPs home, and he survives just barely, but IG victory, as the lady says, 18.5 minutes, complete opposite of game number 1. Very convincing win for Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, they played really well, and again, I think it just comes down to the draft. A lot of Dota is decided in the draft, and I think both of these games were perfect examples of that, to be honest.
Twan just wiping off the hair. Easy, easy. We got this. And LGD looking a little worse for wear there, as they say. Just a completely one-sided game. And that Doom ended the game 0, 0, and 0. Very low impact on that Doombringer, Greg.
Yeah, I think 0, 0, and 0 is, well, definitely not great. I don't know. I think the only time he doomed someone, nothing happened.
It was in that bottom lane, and yeah, he threw out a Doom. They walked back to the tower, and that was the end of it. He pretty much just farmed. He had a mech blink at the end of the game. He did pop the mech and try and save. I think it saved the axe once or twice, but
just perfect execution.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, again, it comes down to they showed their hand in the draft. And IG are a team with enough experience where if you do that against them, they're really going to punish you. And
yeah.
I mean, when you pick Axe and you pick Witch Doctor, I mean, there's a chance that it's not an aggressive tri lane, but chances are it is, and they're just going to pick around that.
And the tri lane was
I think they just had way longer initiation range. They didn't have a Shadow Demon. I think maybe if there's a Shadow Demon on the side of LGD, you have the Disruption initiation, a little bit longer range. The problem is every time they try to initiate, they just got fished and died.
Yeah, as much as I like Witch Doctor, I think you need some kind of a setup. And whoa, MVP goes the way of our boy Chuan playing on that Earthshaker. I think it's well deserved. He was
gaming
on point. 3, 0, and 13 that game. He was involved in all 16 of IG's kills that game. So I think very much deserving for Chuan to get that little bit of bonus gold IRL, earning that real money, if you will.
I wonder if they split it. I know some teams split it.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice little
It's a team game, man.
Yeah.
Although Chuan just...
He stepped it up.
He took that game over his knee and broke it in half.
He really did. But, yeah, if you aggro try with Axe, you got to get those kills. I think a Shadow Demon, like you said, would have made for easier setup, and that's a scary
Dazzle
tri
too,
lane
right?
there.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't think it got banned out.
Dazzle, Shadow Demon, Axe, that's good stuff.
I mean, we've seen that before. That's a good tri lane.
It's good stuff. So... Well, didn't work out for LGD. Coming up next will be LGD versus DT. So, of course, IG.
Our boy Air.
Yeah, our boy Air.
There's been a lot of talk.
A lot of talk?
A lot of talk about Air.
What's the talk?
That guy goes ham.
He goes ham?
He goes fucking ham.
Yeah.
He has a really great Brewmaster, and he's been impressing all across the scene. A lot of the pro players have been watching him. I spent the other night at the Liquid House, and they were Air fans.
Yeah, they were checking out the
Air
Air
plays.
plays.
See if he can deliver.
All right, we will, and it's getting interesting, guys. The next two matchups, LGD versus DT, and then HGT versus CIS. All 4 of these teams are in the Chinese qualifier, which gets started in a couple days here for the TI4 qualifier here at the NA Hub. So we get a little sneak peek of how these teams are looking coming into the qualifier. Couldn't have been a better time to do WPC Ace. So, look, Basekip is rubbing off. I mean, now I'm saying Bean instead of Bin.
Oh, dear.
That son of a bitch.
Goddamn Aussies.
Yeah,
well, he's South African, whatever.
But yeah, he's got all sorts of crazy accents.
Similar
So
accents.
we'll have a decent break here, guys. That was a quick game too. Next series is scheduled to start at about 2:30 a.m. It is currently 2:08 here on the Pacific Coast. So we'll have a break, then we'll be coming back for LGD versus Dreamtime. Don't go anywhere, or go somewhere and then come on back.
Just make sure you come back.
Come on back. WPC action will resume on BTS2.